Welcome to another episode with an inner child adult. So, how easy is it to be your authentic self? Depends on your story, but my story is I have a twin and I have an empowered woman called Mother who held me and still holds me with equanimity. And at the same time, we have lovely debates and discussions because, my mom's from Naples, Italy, and that is really passion land. So, if you're ever interested, come to Italy. Also, I'm a 5D mystic, not a 4D, so there's no mantle, no mantles of mental health. We don't do that, oh, let's be immune to people, as I've seen online. No, we say welcome all of those who are supported with good therapy for personality disorders are all healable, and there's neuroscientists to explain no demon possessing anyone. So, on that note, as a 5D mystic, I already knew that. I talk to Jesus and God, and I don't use the word God as much anymore because we're not welcome. Reiki practitioners, Akashic record readers, tarot card readers, anybody who's a mystic. And that's not true. The true faithful people, they know we're all a big ball of energy and we all come and support each other in different ways with love. So I get to share how easy it is to be yourself when you have an inner child adult for your whole life. So I didn't separate from this lovely sphere of consciousness, and I'm going to use words however they come out of my mouth. So if you're talking over me, you should go listen to the Zen master who talks about laundry in the body, because that's for people who say, I can't do emotions, Maria. I can't do thoughts, Maria. Sure, you can't. I'm sure you can do a lot of things because we're in 2024 and there's a lot of great therapists out there who are helping people who want to heal from their inner child trauma and or personality disorder. And it's not because anyone's fucked up or broken. No, that's a lame teenage excuse at what sounds like to an adult like me. Yeah, I've heard it. When people want to stay in their avoidant, ambivalent, and or disorganized attachment. All healable. Again, I have attachment trauma courses. I forgot to mention that. So, as an empowered woman, what I can share with you all is thanks to my empowered woman who didn't shame me when I was a child. She gave me a child centric environment. I get to say, no shame. Nope, not even a little bit. And we're going to talk about why we don't do this. We have some mantle, which is where those mantles of yoga and mantles of spirituality, they're called spiritual bypassers. Yes, when they say we have a bigger cross to bear, and I'm like, what? We're anointed. What? Excuse me, did I just hear you say you're more special than another human being and you think you feel deeper and more and harder or something like that? Because I understood from Dr. Daniel Fox and a lot of other doctors like Daniel Siegel and Bezel van der Kolk, Peter Levine, Stephen Porges, Janina Fisher, Diane Heller, Terry Real. Oh, I could keep going. So all of these great human beings who do a lot of work in the back behind the scenes. So I get to learn from them, not Wendy's or Peter Pan's. Yeah, we all, not we, because see, I figured that out a long time ago. I say a long time. When I was a teenager, young adult, adolescent. So you're an adolescent until the age of 20, which is fair and square because your brain, it don't finish developing until 25 and 27 based on your body type or however it is that we're getting to word the whole, if you have a penis or a vagina, or I don't know if that counts, but basically your biology, the chromosome, that's what counts. XX and XY. So that's where they're, according, at least up till recently, I'm not going to go arguing about anything, because I know people are arguing about all of this stuff. I'm okay with all pronouns, always, but I don't learn it all because I can't remember it. So there's one thing that my brain in left mode doesn't do is keep certain types of piece of information in the forefront. It's really hard for me to remember your name unless I see you a bunch of times. So sometimes there's words like come across me and I'm like, what? I didn't understand that one. Oh, wait, I don't know how to do that. Can you help me? And if somebody helps me understand, and I have people that learned how my brain works and they actually have helped me understand. So I'm a feminine, divine feminine, and I have my own divine masculine, but I also have my masculine and my feminine. That's how I word it as a 5D mystic. And I have my masculines. The good ones help me to understand the plane of shame and blame and guilt and revenge and envy and jealousy and all of that, which is not infinite possibilities. In fact, it's actually called inner child not being visible, the body, by the masculine, the mind, and that's because the left mode, the masculine over here, is taken over, and the mind is like, oh, wait a minute, my thoughts are true. Oh, wait a minute, my feminine, my emotions are true. And it's like, no, No, be in the present. Get off from the safety behavior, please. Okay, so that is where the inner critic, outer critic of people. Apparently, people think that their feelings, thank you, Kristen Lindquist, are irrefutable facts. I shared a story yesterday on our late IHP show. I was 8 years of age and I did have feelings that I thought were true because I got disowned and then I got explained. Thank you, mother. And so I was like, oh, so it was fake. Okay. And that's all I needed to know, that my thoughts and emotions were not true because it was fake. Okay, so when you consistently have an inner child adult growing up, it's because you maintain integration of brain. My body loves emotions. That's why there's no laundry. So it's not something that stayed in a charged state, because Maria, the brain of Maria, and I'm not kidding right now because I'm sure there's secure attachment whole people out there who know what I'm talking about. The ones who say we're all fucked up, they don't actually try to do any of what the good therapists inform them that they can do, or personal development, self-help, which is what we do here. In fact, there are people who go to therapy and then they say, I don't want to do personal development. I was like, okay, well, you're not going to get out of your pattern if you just keep on doing the hamster wheel and saying it's hard. And oh, look, the Zen master says we have laundry, so I'm just going to stay with laundry. It's not laundry, it's your biochemistry. It's really straightforward when you have the sixth sense introception. I always am feeling what's going on. That's why I'm a hypochondriac, according to the people who want to call me that word, which I mean, when you can laugh at yourself. Aren't there all those wise quotes out there that say how wise you are? Yes, because it means you have actual empowered self-confidence, things that I've noticed women and men out there who take things personally and they don't know how to say it, but really it's because they're not noticing it. They just gave up on their inner child and they're like, yep, I'm always going to be alone. And we don't do the crutch thing. So if there's one thing, an empowered woman, I won't shame you. I won't blame you. I won't do any of those other insecure stuff things, safety behaviors, because I don't need it. But I won't feel sorry for you either. And I won't feel guilty or ashamed of myself for not being a crutch for something that is basically your own nervous system. You've chosen to give up on it and leave it there. And you want to tell me, why me? Why me? Why does life suck? Why do people suck? And man, woman, they don't matter. I'm going to look at you. And that's the minute that as a teenager I was told, you are a bitch. Not those words, but basically. And I'm like, I don't know about that. You're emotionless. Well, not really. You're rational. Yeah, I am. I am. You're cold. You're hiding stuff. No, no, but okay. Sure, I'm just not being dramatic. I don't understand why you're being dramatic. Okay, so here's the deal with emotions. Again, I have a twin. I'm going to spell that one out because, see, I keep finding out about our evolutionary psychologists, how they explain that people will feel, what was it, feeling potentially inadequate, something like that. Daniel Siegel gave me this new acronym, the fear of being inadequate. Yes, and that's because we have a social engagement system besides our attachment system. So here's what happens when you're an adolescent. You move away from your allo-parenting home, parents, siblings, all of those. If they gave you a thumbs up, great. If you got a thumbs down, depends on your body. I maintained my thoughts and emotions as a differentiated 3-year-old because, again, I don't shame people because I didn't get shamed. I'm just explaining an empowered woman, man, or they will not shame another human being, because to shame another human being means, one, you were shamed and you think that's the correct course of action. I know it's cast in stone, and you're not being humble, and you don't know grandiosity or shame, and you don't know healthy self-worth here, which means you're not superior in fear. So shame means that you think and feel in ways, and there's a whole way the mantles go about this. Again, we're not a crutch. You know what I like? I like the rabbi who introduced me to Jacob. The Jacob personality is objective, not about self or other. I'm just presenting to you equations. You know what people do when you present to them equations that don't take sides and they're an inner child that isn't an adult? They don't like you. You don't care because I'm just telling you something that's only a thought. I didn't know you didn't understand what food for thought was. And now you're getting all pissy in your pants for something that I'm not really sure what the deal is. Nobody has a truth. Don't you know? Even the scientists, people don't know everything. Actually, 97% of everything out there is on what was it, Daniel? Oh, I love that, man. I'm taking a course, Consciousness and Change. It's unreadable or unseeable, something like that. Dark matter, dark energy. That's why 3D, 4D is going to keep on rocking and rolling, and so is 5D. Oh, I love the world. So let me go find my notes so I can use the better word because you used the really good, and that's where mystics, we don't just believe in the invisible. Can you not tell the happiness that seeps through every single one of my pores? And when people say it can't be, I'm like, yeah, you still need to work on your shame and laundry. Get going so you can live this lifetime like this because it's really nice. It's called restorative embodiment, by the way, and it's just using a brain. And no, I don't do drugs at all, not even a little bit. Nope, and I'm not drunk because I don't drink that much. Otherwise, I'd be throwing up, and that would be. Ugh. I've done that a few times, very embarrassing. But long story short, yeah, we don't need. I have a high without anything. Oh, okay, where are you? I can't find my notes. So, anyways, I don't. I'm laughing right now because I'm thinking of all these people out there. So there's four ways, four pathways to enlightenment or to, connecting the source. And there's the pain and loss. I'm very sad, but I also know as an enlightenment soul age group, the options that they're being given. So you don't have to say you have free will, but you do have conscious choosing at the moment things happen. And I don't want to smile too much, but at the same time, some of us, we're here, thank you, Dalai Lama, to bring laughter and joy for those who want it. I have the ability and the responsibility, and I will bow my head down for those who choose to stay within the human suffering love narrative. 1 minute. I'm being serious right now. I am doing my best to maintain a level of remembrance in my brain about something that a feminine doesn't like to accept at all. And my masculines like to remind me. They're divines, all of them, but I'll choose to use and not use this word divine because really it doesn't mean anything. In no way, shape, or form do we talk about divines, 5D mystics, like the people who think that we are actually an entity in a way that's just so yeah. I'm gonna leave that alone because I know Nietzsche got crap for it. Okay, here we go. 97% of what is going on is unavailable for us to observe. So we can only make our best guesses and the best estimates. And I know that there are scientist people out there who are linear. It's like, no, Daniel Siegel gets chased down the halls. That man is amazing. I love you, Daniel. Maybe one day I'll meet you in person, even though I did get to meet him a little bit in person, but it was through virtual means. So that's a different way, right? I would love to say, can I shake your hand and give you a hug? Because I love giving hugs because that activates our ventral vagal system and because it's our mammalian heritage who want to be, oh. So I have a twin, as I was saying, which is why, unlike other people who are born alone, I wasn't. I was in the same sack. I had the umbilical cord. I'm not kidding with any of you right now. This is one of the gifts that I got gifted, and because of that, I will never have this fear of being inadequate. Because the fear of being inadequate comes from our ancestors. If you got kicked out of the herd, you're fucking all by yourself with a lion, tiger, bear, and your body remembers it. Memory. Now, people are like, no, I find it hard to believe. Well, you know what? Your emotional plane is yours, and mine is too. So there you go, right? And here, irrefutable facts. There's none when it comes to emotions, when it comes to a lot of things. So, culturally speaking, I think this lady talks about effective realism, which is the feeling that your emotions and thoughts are true, that your culture is true. And in fact, I've noticed I'm bicultural, that people don't like Speedos on men. Well, in Italy, they do. And I personally find them a lot better than those big, huge things, which are completely soggy, wet, and like, what are you going to do? You're going to spend the whole day with this heavy wetness. Oh, yes. And they don't believe that you're going to get rheumatism from all of that wet. And this is my bicultural nature. See, I'm American Italian. So I know how the Americans tease the Italians, and they're not just Italians, even the Europeans in Spain. France, I'm not sure, but like leaving your fan on, you're going to get, what is it? You're going to get something in your bones. And I'm going to say I love having the best of both worlds because there's truth in everything, a little bit of it. And there's also truth in superstition. And at the same time, this is the part, do we know the truths of any? No, not really. So people who want to get picky about all this stuff, they don't have fun in life. In fact, they don't laugh at themselves. They don't laugh at cultural differences. They don't laugh at anything. They have chips on their shoulder. I see them. They have mantles. They're on Elsa's journey. So they want to use this shame thing. Here, let me talk about shame. So one, chronic trauma equals shame. A person who doesn't know themselves, which is where a lot of people are at, as they tell me that I should shame people or do some shit that I won't do because I'm nobody, I won't cast a stone. God taught me how to be humble, and I'm lucky. Like I said, I have a twin. I have no fear of being inadequate. I've fought like cats and dogs. We still can fight, and I'm not rejected, and there you go. So I don't know this fear. I'm lucky. And so I get to share with you how easy it is to be yourself. Once you get over here, stop pretending to be somebody else and just figure out your identity. Now, if you have personality disorders or inner child trauma, that's why it's good to have those therapists out there. They explain to you the confusion that arises when you meet secure attachment, empowered women. Unfinished business, I have none. I ain't projecting shit in your face. I'm going to talk to you in your face. And I'm going to notice how I did when I was a teenager that people don't know how to talk to your face. And I'm going to say, why? I'm 4'9". I don't understand why you can't tell me the truth. This is not, I'm not understanding. What I do know is when you're throwing your emotions at me and your thoughts and your subjective experience, and I've had plenty of that. Anyone who has tuned into my episodes knows about my teenage boyfriend. I'll share a story in a minute. So, feeling safe is not something that a person who had trauma as a child. Okay, the first year of life is very important, which is why if you don't have secure attachment, that's pretty much you want to get that taken care of for yourself, not for me, because you're going to live a better life. Coaches who tell you secure attachment is boring, they use the wrong word. It's painful, scary, and very tiresome for you to work out of your non-secure attachment because your 0 1 year old is freaking out every time you're trying to live what your 0 1 year old didn't get to live. So the reality is, no, it's not boring once you get here. It's only boring for the ones who don't realize that when they're doing on and off, that biochemistry is not only a fear, it's a hypervigilance, and your brain is not doing anything different than what it was doing before, and you're not getting out of negative self-soothing mechanisms. So reality is you can get your butt up, and the people who say, I don't want to do mindfulness, I don't want to do journaling, I'm just thinking all are fucked up, that's again, sure, the Zen master with laundry. You can stay in the human suffering body that you have. You don't have to, though. The point is, you don't have to. So, while some of us can say, I got lucky, I can also say that in 2024, there's great therapists who are helping all people to get out of what is a suffering body. Hell is here, not out there. And out there, we know nothing's perfect. That's the whole point. How are you going to go and do things? Your low energy is not because of well, it's because of a lot of things, but we're going to start with if your body doesn't feel safe inside, you are tired every day because your body's going on and off, on and off, on and off because you don't learn how to regulate your own nervous system from your 0 1 year old, which is what people don't seem to understand when they get it explained, or maybe they don't get it explained well. I don't know. But I did see teenagers not want to learn. So I'm not surprised that grown women, men, and days, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do personal development. Well, okay then. Stay in your, suffering body, but don't come tell me that smiling means that I'm depressed and that I'm hiding feelings and that I'm toxic positivity or any of that shit, okay? Because that shit is for the people who pretend. Some of us don't pretend. And when we get to hear that over and over and over again, it gets really boring. So we have emotions. It's not a big deal. That's what I'm saying. Sadness, what? Did you kill me? No, I'm physically alive. Anger, not really. The only thing that I'm still working on is when I get the lazy asses telling me, why me? And I have to say, okay, Maria, shut it. Shut that. None of your business. Thank you for this life. I'm grateful, bow my head, and I'm humble once again. I ain't going to be your mommy, daddy, anything. I'm not even going to be a crutch because I'm actively not vibing in that. And in fact, here's where it's not an energy vampire. It's a sad story. And when somebody wants to make it even more, I'm all alone. I'll be alone for the rest of my life. Yes, I guess you will. I don't know what else to do. Okay, so that's the part of the shame being hidden, a 0 1 year old being hidden, and the inner child not getting found by the adults who could be in their prefrontal cortex. And instead, what they do is, why me? And life sucks, and men suck, and women suck, and the world sucks, and everything sucks, and there you go. Over and over and over again. So, when a person has had chronic trauma or trauma from infancy, they don't feel safe. So, they're not going to be able to blame anybody around them because their body is like, I'm here. I'm the only one not being seen. There must be something wrong with me. So, the self blame is what happens because that's how your brain, this is how they explain it. Now, I know I find it hard to believe. Well, whatever. Okay. When people tell me they find neurobiology, neuroscience, and psychology hard to believe, that I don't have any words for people except for go to the flat earthers and go to the Zen master who says you got laundry, and there you go. You're going to be happy. That way, your feelings can be irrefutable truths, and you can keep on doing that. Okay, so here's where shame. Thank you. This one's from one of my NICABM courses. I forget. Ebony. Yeah, I think it's Ebony Webb, but I forget names. See? Okay, so she shares shame is our social orienting emotion. It is going to shine a light. If you can imagine a prism, she says, it's going to shine a light through all the different states of being and identity. Remember that the self is an identity constructed from the minute you begin engaging. You have sensations, images, affects, meanings, and the behavior comes up. So when you're an adaptive child, that's where there's grown-ups or there's 16-year-olds. When there's a maladaptive, either or for me are both one and the same because you're going to have projection. So secure attachment, authentic self, they're going to just get projected when a person doesn't want to do, ooh, I see myself, oh, I'm amazing, and welcome themselves back home. When they do want to do that, that's when we have a good time, and those are the fun relationships. The others are fun because I get to practice how to be myself, look at somebody, and continue to remind myself, as I did as a teenager, I know confidence. I know healthy self-worth. I'm not here to be their parent. I got taught that. I'm not here to shame anyone or correct you. It's none of my business what you want to do with your life. Very interesting. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. It depends. But my body is a blank right now, which is why people who don't like to, what's the word? Not see a reaction, because that's where adaptive children want you to take their side. They actively think that they're right or wrong. And in either cases, you're not going to say they're right. You're not going to say they're wrong. You leave them with a blank slate, which equals uncertainty, because I'm nothingness in that moment. And now they're going to be, again, one of the two. They like to take ownership or they don't. And that's when you become this apparently evil bitch, evil witch, whatever words can come up in their brain. And I don't know any better because I'm not going to do anything with silence. You silent me, I don't care. I'm not thinking about what you're thinking. I'm just standing there. So here's where, again, we don't shame, we talk. I tell you to your face what I think, and when you bring to me something, I'll tell you what I think again. And if you are whining at me, I'm going to still tell you what you think and what I think, and not what you think. But the point, I think you get it, right? So we won't do the, oh, I'm so sorry that you don't like my answer. It'll be more like, yeah, I don't know why you're not understanding. I have my own way of being. I'm not moving anywhere. I'm not flinching. Why are you getting agitated? So this is where I understand now a lot of things that I didn't understand before, but it's all good. Empowered women, we won't mind it if we're intimidating. We'll find it humorous. I'm 4'9". I still can't. I can't. I'm like, come on, this is a joke. You're joking. Or when people are scared of me, I'm like, I don't understand. My left brain is like, I can't see it. I don't see it. I see a person. So I have a hard time actually conceptualizing when somebody is scared, and there are people that are scared of me. I don't really, my friends, they know that. That's why I need people around me that say, okay, here, let me explain it to you better. I have some of my friends, they explain it to me really good. I need them. I literally have no idea if somebody is around me and they don't like me because I'm not looking at them like that. They're a person. They're part of my family. So here's where, again, remember, I have a twin. We fought and we still do, but we don't do anything different than what any siblings will do, except for one thing. Our mother taught us never to use our hands. And I would rat her out if she ever tried, and she knew that, which is why I would punch if mom would let me. I'm like, well, you can't, so ha ha ha. And that's exactly why I admit I was an annoying teenager. And anybody who didn't like a teenager like me knows. And then there's people who instead, I know that they would complete, and they were friends. But I know that as teenagers, they would totally have me under their wing. I'd be like, and I would have totally be like, yep, I'm under his wing because he's awesome. And hopefully in time he can get more awesome inside here for himself. Okay, so how should we feel about ourselves around emotions? That's what shame does for people who allow it to continue ruling them. Ideologies such as religion, gender conversations, and conventions, they bring in shame around how we should or should not express a particular emotion. So remember, this and that it activates. So it doesn't activate for me. Here's what happens when you're a solo poly and somebody says polyamory people are masochists. Well, not really. Not the ones who are empowered. I think you're talking about people who don't have healthy self worth in the forefront. So I'm going to say that you know a group of polyamory people and not all of us. Okay, so again, we'll talk to you. We won't shame you. We won't tease you too much because we don't know how. I don't know how to tease, even though I do know how to tease, but it's once we get comfortable. And that's because of getting to know you, getting to know all about you. So when you meet guitar strings, and I'm a guitar string, you're a guitar string, and you're vibing your vibe, and I'm vibing my vibe, and nobody's a crutch, that's when we're going to have fun. And that's why healthy self worth, anyone's, men, women, theys, are not out there with the Elsa Journey mantle. Show yourself, I'm dying to meet you, or the superhero, we're fighting like Braveheart against some villain. They're out there saying, okay, we have two hands, we have 2 feet, we're a human herd, let's get it together now. What are we going to do? And everybody has their focus. So mine is human beings and the world and personal development and self-help and sharing with you an empowered voice. So we have opinions and it's not about right or wrong. Some people will like us, some people will not. It's kind of like my lovely city of Naples. It's chaotic, which I love. And every day could be our last day. We have Campi Flegrei, Phlegraean Fields, which is a super volcano. You can just name it. You're seeing a lot of mass media with titles that are really annoying. But you know what? I know 3D and 4D reality is going to stick around. So, on that note, that's for the 3D, 4D. For the 5D, we know that it's a day by day thing. And the Vesuvius. That's the other part. So, here's why every day they wake up. They won't do everything. They'll do some things and then they'll do some relaxed stuff because it could be our last day and we really don't know any of it. And that's what I love about living in the present moment. Oh, that's right. I forgot. I was going to read you a quote about Sadhguru because he shares, as always, the most amazing quotes. It's always in a theme. That's how it works, my lovely 5D. Thinking, he says, is just a recycling of data that you have gathered in the past. Now, that's only for people who have their inner child leading the way and there's no adult in the house. When, on the other hand, you have an adult, here's what happens. Inner child adults are integrated brains. We use our left and we use our right, our feet, put it in, right? You put your left foot in, your right foot in, and you shake it all about. And that's why we do not feel that our emotions are irrefutable facts. We know, okay, I'm not going to project my emotion. Shut up, brain, for a minute. Just leave it alone. And then we're going to say, what were you telling me again? What was that opinion that you had? Oh, you're so cute. So when I get interrupted by 3-year-olds who are teenagers, I actively just enjoy myself because, again, when you're empowered since you've been a teenager, there's no charges. You just keep rolling with it's not punches. You keep rolling with your prefrontal cortex. I remember when I got out of my limbic system, I talked about it with people. Yes, I said, I want to stop venting. I've decided, and none of them supported me. You can't. You're human. That's the point. I can because it's my body. Now I have attachment trauma information to support any one of you to know you can do it too. And anybody who has a challenge, again, personality disorders, there's Dr. Daniel Fox. I was just watching a video of how he supports people with change. Now, the people that he is really great with, it's borderline personality. Other videos he's great with too, but he has a lot of empathy for the borderline personality group. So if you find any of his other content a little bit less empathetic, I get it. He works with all people. So I'm going to give my own 2 cents, which is when you can have empathy for all in a state of compassion, it's because you've had more personal time with them. And also because of supporting that group, what I'm going to venture off and think is that he knows that there's a lot of borderline personality who end up engaging with narcissism personality. These are traits or disorders. And so it's a bit of something he's balancing out as we speak, because I've seen different pieces of content for the narcissist group. In some, he's not as empathetic and compassionate as he is with the borderline. And he's had comments, which he will, I'm sure, look at and understand because he cares about people, as any expert who does what they do care, like Dr. Daniel Siegel. Daniel, he's an expert on integration of the brain and on all things related to your mind and your brain and your relationships. And so he talks about attachment, lifespan, and a lot of beautiful, beautiful aspects like the wheel of awareness that I will share more about as we keep moving forward. And Dr. Daniel Foxon said he's an expert on these personality disorders. So his YouTube channel, you can find it. He has a bunch of books out. And again, just being aware, because I didn't appreciate his lack of empathy in some of those videos for the narcissist group at all. And I, in fact, engaged with the comment that was there. And again, I'm hoping he sees it. If you need anyone for childhood trauma, we have Patrick Tiahan. He's great because he's not only a childhood trauma survivor, he's healed. I always say also healing, but he's building a community. And he's, for example, somebody who says you don't need to forgive anyone yet if you're not ready. And that's what some people need to hear. But he also shares with you how not to project your insecurities, which is what also people need to hear, as well as not dating people that are going to shame you, which also I've noticed men, women, and days need to hear. Terry Real is great for couples. Yes, and he's great for getting people out of that grandiosity and shame and the love dependent and love avoidant. Yeah, his relationship grid is awesome. So you're going to spot the squirrels, control angry, as well as the desperate human beings who have this little thing they want a crutch. They're not going to find a crutch anywhere, which is why when they don't find one and they fall, they get mad. We're okay with that, or they get sad. We're going to say, I didn't know I was here to do emotions for you. And no, we won't say anything at all. That's exactly the point. We don't shame, we talk, and we just let people know this is what I'm capable of, and some things I'm not. And you can have your opinions about what I'm capable of or not, and call me all the names in this world, but I think that in 24 hours, we all will be choosing as inner child adults how to spend that time based on paying bills, having a home, right? Having your day to day. And anyone who grows up, and I'm 44 and doesn't really realize this, once you're after mid 20s, I'm pretty sure you would figure out that you're going to settle into what is a routine. Now, some people are like, that's boring. Well, it's boring for the people who don't realize that that's how life works. It's not boring. Actually, when you're empowered, it's a highlight. Every day, you're surrounded by guitar strings and all of them. So we have Sid, Diego, Manny. You got Cusco's, you got Squirrels, you got Ursula's. We get to be the Pachas. So bringing in secure attachment, empowering relationships, the inner child adult, it's always a high. Because we're always on, not with laundry. There's no laundry here. It's more like sunshine and rainbows. And if you have a tummy ache or you got something going on that's really destabilizing you, you learn how to not have your fear. Fear is my biggest thing because I want to live. So, the panic attacks are the worst thing of anything with ascension energies. Other than that, twin flames, what are you talking about, Saga? That's for people who don't know how to control their little thoughts. And oh, look, my emotions, they're not irrefutable truth. Yeah, that's right. They're not. You telling some human being that you know everything about them, there are mystics that have done that with me. And as they continued, I said, okay, look, you're calling me a liar for one. The fact that you have clairs doesn't mean shit to me right now because I do too, and we're not competing. 3, again, I'm speaking to you. So either you trust me or you don't. Make up your mind, but don't bring me, I know what you're thinking. I know who you are. I, by mistake, didn't know how to say, I experienced you this way, and I corrected myself because, see, when somebody presents to you, how dare you tell me you know me or my heart? Wow, okay, I'm so sorry. Let me redirect my words and say, I experience you. So, what you learn how to do as you grow up is basically repeat yourself to the extent that people say, why are you making it a point to share that? Because a lot of people don't seem to know that it's a subjective experience to live life. So, I'm going to remind them. And when people don't like it, they say, you're just making shit up so that you have to. Yeah, sure. I'm going to go now. Again, whenever you have any ego in town that is not wanting to be emotionally and mentally aware, they're going to think that their emotions and their thoughts are irrefutable facts. This is just like the people interrupt you. Excuse me. You're confusing sciences and spirituality. I got this happen to me. Anyone who's heard the story. And I'm like, I was talking. This dude interrupts me while I'm talking about a serious conversation with a person who's looking forward to being supported with some personal development, self-help stuff. And I turn around and I say, no, I'm bringing them together. And then he says, no, but I'm a mystic too. And I'm like, no, I understand. Really, I'm doing something. I'm able to connect the dots. And I'm like trying to get him to understand what I'm saying. And then he's like, no. See, I have over here quantum physics, over here spirituality with Buddha. I know what I'm talking about. Now I know that I need to let the 3 year old share because they're just dying to tell me their truth. And so I'm like, you know what? Okay, it's loud. I'm not used to speaking in Italian. I'm gonna speak some other time, not now. But let me know what I'm now curious. What's your truth? What do you want to tell me? And they told me. I was like, yep, we're on the same page. But again, I'm not confusing them. But thank you. I'll explain. Maybe I'll share with you some books, and that way we can continue the conversation at some other point, which we didn't. But that's what happens when people don't understand how to share a floor. And oh, I have so many stories. Maybe I'll share more of those ones because there's things that I observe from the outside, and I'm like, wow, that's fascinating. Like big man, baby child, my friend. There's this other dude. I call him illiterate. It's not because he's illiterate. His brain completely is illiterate, though. He doesn't understand anything. He's gotten better. I don't know if he's done some integrating of the brain, but he's gotten better. The last times I saw him, and he's part of the trio of those other two who I have no intention and I've never have. I didn't even have any interest in actually engaging with this illiterate person, but big man, baby child decided to become friends with illiterate. Okay, so big man, baby child, I told him, it's your fault that the dude keeps coming back. He thinks you're his friend. Didn't you hear him the last time you freaked him out? So this is what happened, and then I'll let you all go. But this is an actual scene. Okay, these are not made up stories. That's one of the reasons why I enjoy going out to my home pub. Okay, so there's it's a good crowd. You don't get any of that dangerous stuff that is other places because they choose who to no, it's because how does it work? Well, I'm going to say it's a vibe. You attract your tribe. But long story short, we're sitting down and big man, baby child, and illiterate are talking. So at this point, this guy's friends with this huge 60 plus year age person, man. And I don't know how old the illiterate is, but I'm thinking he's around my age. I'm 44, so either a little bit younger, a little bit, no, younger, or my age. So I don't know what big man baby child tells him, but it's something that freaks him out, and it's something about opinions, but not in a good way. And he likes to have fun like this person to just be a doofus. And the guy was getting ready, illiterate was getting ready to go out and smoke a cigarette, and I see him because I don't know who I'm interacting with, but I see him like stop and continue to like say no no no, but wait, you need to I need to understand. What are you saying? So I realize that illiterate is taking him seriously. And I say, look, he's just messing with you. Leave it alone. Go have fun. Go. No, no, but he has to explain. He's my friend. What he just said, it's mind blowing in a bad way, not a good way. He's my friend. He has to tell me. So this guy is freaking out. And at a certain point, I remind him, he's messing with you. Let it go. It's just not a real deal. Just go have your cigarette, go have fun. And so finally he leaves. And then I turn to big man, baby child. I say, what the hell did you tell him? And yeah, whatever he did tell him, it freaked him out because of whatever it is, it just reminded me I have a person who's afraid of me because I told her I don't judge people. And see, I didn't realize I was being drilled, like when you're in prison and somebody begins to ask you questions because I don't notice. I'm just having a good time. I'm chit chatting. All of a sudden, I just get, the room gets quiet. This woman's asking me a series of questions. I'm answering. I don't judge. I don't judge. I don't. Eventually, I find out she thought I was saying that I don't send people to prison. And I'm like, I'm not the prison ward. But even if I were, I'm not the law. And even if I were the law, and I'm not the law, this is the part. What are you doing? Like, how's your brain working? And so, my lovely viewers, powerful emotions feel like irrefutable truths. You got people who are scared of people when we speak out of our mouths. And that to me is just like, I don't understand. My left mode tries to understand this because I don't understand it. So the best that I can use as we close out is my 8-year-old self who believed my twin when she said, "You're disowned. You're not my sister. I'm leaving you." And I actually, so that's the best way I can maybe understand how 40-year-old plus people, men and women, they have conversations with each other and they get afraid of each other, angry at each other. They don't talk to each other. I mean, again, I completely don't understand it. But I will do my best to try and keep it in mind. Some of us have a good relationship with our emotions and thoughts, and we know they're not truths. I can present them to you. Want to talk? So, again, let's just keep remembering everybody has an experience. In fact, we think and feel differently. That's the differentiated self. So, not all people learn about being human. I continue to learn about it. And I do love all people, but I do have my opinions, as you can tell, and I share food for thought. These are not truths; they're never truths. If if you're looking for truths, really, go to school, go meet good academics, all of them, not only some of them, and remember that every subject matter field they have experts that are divided. Like with Daniel Siegel, he gets chased down by his colleagues, and he's the most eloquent person ever. Sadhguru, I love you. Sadhguru could do way better, but he's a spirituality guru. So the psych education, I get to bring you the human translator. And if you need a Zen master to tell you still got laundry, there's one out there. You can go follow him. We'll be back with more. In the meantime, like, share, subscribe. If you want one-on-one mentorship for personal development, there's a landing page somewhere on the Inspiring Human Potential website, but you can also just find the main modules of the Inner Growth Mindset for free. And the beginner's journey is on Udemy. There's Ask Maria, opinionated columnist, on the audio version of the podcast for now. Once we get to our 1K on YouTube, we'll have that. And again, any questions? I love talking about a lot of topics. So I'm an expert on being a human. I know plenty of the humanities, social sciences, the gist of it, attachment, trauma informed. I continue those educational, and for mystics is all my own, even though not by myself. The esoteric, all that, but I got the gist of it. I don't give you the ancient stories that 4D gets lost in, because really, why would you need to pinpoint so many things from your past? But it is awesome to have past life regressions from the Akashic record readings. So yeah, you will understand a lot about a lot of things, and in the most amazing of ways, which is why we don't have sagas with any of our twin flames or soulmates. It's a beautiful world when you actually know where you come from here and elsewhere and where you're headed. I know where I'm headed. And people think that that's ridiculous. And I love that I know what I know. So I know myself, which is why I love that I know what I know. Again, like, share, subscribe, ask questions, and have a great day.